The lights are already hot when the freeze hits. It's late night, a studio stage built for television, not myth. The crowd is clapping on instinct, cameras sweeping, when Prince suddenly stops at the center microphone. That microphone stand, chrome, waist-high, is the anchor detail everyone will remember. He looks past it, not at the audience, not at the band. Then he turns his back. In a clean, unmistakable motion, Prince walks off his own show. The band freezes. The crowd doesn't know whether to cheer or gasp. The danger is immediate. Live television hates dead air, and Prince has just created it. Rewind a few days earlier to the rehearsal room tied to that same stage. According to accounts, this was supposed to be controlled. Time slots were tight. Producers had notes. The anchor detail here is the running order sheet, taped to a wall with Prince's name slotted into a precise window. In this world, late-night television runs on obedience disguised as collaboration. You hit marks, you finish songs when told. Prince had never fully accepted those rules, but he knew them well enough to break them cleanly. The backfill matters, because Prince wasn't just a guest. This was his show, his name on the marquee, his music driving ratings. The anchor detail becomes the contract that gave him that authority, reportedly negotiated with unusual autonomy for a TV performer. Still, autonomy on paper doesn't always survive rehearsal. Stage managers count seconds, network executives count risk. Prince counted control. At rehearsal, the friction shows early. According to insiders, there's discussion about song length, transitions, and pacing. The anchor detail is a clock on the studio wall ticking toward broadcast time. Prince reportedly runs long, not sloppily, deliberately. He stretches a guitar break. He lets a groove breathe. The room tightens. This isn't about music taste. It's about who decides when a moment ends. By the day of the taping, the tension is baked in. The anchor detail shifts to the dressing room door, closed, quiet. Prince warms up on guitar, fingers loose, movements economical. Outside, producers hover with headsets. The crowd files in, unaware they're walking into a standoff disguised as entertainment. The rules are simple. The show goes on, but only if everyone agrees who's in charge. When the cameras roll, it starts smooth. Prince hits the stage on time. The anchor detail returns to the center microphone, now active, spotlighted. He plays. The crowd responds. But as the minutes tick by, the math starts breaking. According to accounts, cues are missed. A signal to rap doesn't land. Prince keeps playing. The music isn't chaos, it's precision, but it's not obedient. Backstage, the pressure spikes. The anchor detail becomes a headset conversation, clipped and urgent. There's talk of breaks, of segments running late. Live television logic collides with Prince logic. One is built on schedules, the other on moments. Neither wants to blink first. Then it happens. Mid-performance, Prince stops. No fade-out, no apology. He steps back from the microphone stand, the same stand that anchored the opening, and looks toward the wings. That glance is the anchor detail witnesses later describe. It's not confusion, it's a decision. He turns and walks off the stage. The crowd reacts in fragments. Some cheer, thinking it's theater. Others murmur, sensing rupture. The band stays put, instruments hanging. The cameras scramble, unsure whether to follow or hold. The anchor detail is the empty microphone, live and unattended, broadcasting absence. Commercial break or not, the damage is done. According to accounts, producers rush toward the wings. This is the cliff edge. The stakes crystallize. If Prince doesn't come back, the show collapses into legend for the wrong reason. If he does come back, it will be on his terms. Somewhere backstage, Prince is making a choice, not just about returning, but about what he will return with.
Backstage, the air tightens around Prince like a held breath. The anchor detail is the narrow hallway behind the stage, cables taped to the floor, crew pressed against walls to make space. Prince doesn't rush. According to accounts, he walks with the same measured pace he uses on stage, guitar still strapped, purple jacket catching the light from an open door. Producers trail him, voices low but urgent. One of them gestures back toward the stage, toward the empty microphone that's still live. Time is bleeding. The next night, because this story lives in repetition as much as rupture, rehearsal notes are reviewed again. The anchor detail becomes a handwritten note on a clipboard, short and set if needed. It's a compromise on paper, but not in spirit. Prince reportedly reads it, nods once, and sets it aside. He doesn't argue. That silence is already doing work. That morning, before the taping resumes, Prince rehearses alone. The anchor detail is the piano bench in the studio, pulled closer than usual. He plays a sequence that isn't on the rundown, not filler, not a hit medley, something heavier. According to insiders, it's a piece that demands space, not applause breaks. You don't cut into it without breaking it. That's the point. At the pre-show meeting, hierarchy tries to reassert itself. The anchor detail is the producer's headset resting on the table like a badge. "We need you to hit the out," someone says. The word out hangs there. Prince looks at the stage diagram at the center microphone marked with an X. He doesn't raise his voice. He reportedly says something close to, "Let the song finish." It's not a threat, it's a line in the sand. When cameras roll again, the tension is visible even before the first note. The anchor detail is the applause sign flashing too early, a cue meant to hurry energy along. Prince steps to the microphone, acknowledges the crowd, but his eyes flick once to the band. That glance is a signal. They know what's coming. This isn't improvisation, it's preparation. The first song goes by the book, mostly. Prince hits the marks just enough to suggest compliance. The anchor detail is the stage clock counting down, seconds shaved, margins restored. Producers relax. The audience settles. It feels like control has been regained. That's when Prince steps away again. This time, he doesn't leave the stage entirely. The anchor detail shifts to the guitar stand at stage right. Prince reaches for a different instrument than the one listed on the rundown. According to accounts, a few crew members exchange looks. This guitar isn't for quick numbers, it's for something long. A producer's voice cuts through a headset. "We're tight." Another responds, "Let him play." The hierarchy fractures in real time. The anchor detail is that split-second decision, invisible to the audience, but decisive for what follows. Prince steps back to the microphone, now with the new guitar, and the lights subtly change, warmer, deeper. The song begins quietly, sparse. The anchor detail is Prince's foot tapping against the stage floor, keeping time without a click track. The crowd leans in. This isn't the kind of performance you talk over. It demands attention. According to witnesses, the band follows Prince's cues without looking anywhere else. No stage manager, no countdown clock, just him. As the minutes stretch, the pressure returns. The anchor detail is a red light blinking near the camera, signaling time trouble. Someone backstage reportedly reaches for a control, volume, fade, something that can rein the moment back in. This is where the title's gravity pulls everything inward: the microphone, the sound, the power to cut. Prince senses it. You can see it in the way he shifts closer to the mic, then deliberately steps back. According to accounts, his voice drops out for a beat, not because he missed a lyric, but because something changed. The room holds. Silence creeps in where sound should be. This is the brink. The anchor detail is that fraction of a second where Prince realizes the system is willing to mute him. The stakes snap into focus: submit and finish on their terms, or risk everything live on air. He doesn't flinch. He looks up, away from the microphone, and lets his hands keep moving on the strings. The crowd hasn't lost control yet. They're about to. Prince is seconds away from turning absence into a weapon, from proving that silence, chosen, can be louder than any note. The cut hasn't fully landed, but it's coming.
The cut lands, clean and unmistakable. The anchor detail is the microphone itself, still in front of Prince, still lit, but suddenly dead. According to multiple accounts, the vocal channel drops out mid-phrase. No echo, no feedback, just absence. For half a second, the audience doesn't know what happened. Then, Prince knows. You can see it in his shoulders, the way he straightens instead of recoiling. He doesn't reach for the mic. He doesn't signal the band to stop. The anchor detail becomes his right hand, still picking the guitar strings, steady, deliberate, louder now. If the system thinks muting the voice ends the performance, Prince makes a different argument. He steps back, away from the microphone entirely, and keeps playing. The silence is not empty. The anchor detail is the sound of fingers on strings, amplified through the guitar amp, raw and physical. Prince leans into it, bending notes harder, longer, forcing the melody to speak without words. Witnesses later say you could hear people breathing. The crowd realizes this isn't a mistake, this is a choice. Backstage, panic breaks through protocol. The anchor detail shifts to the mixing board, lights flashing as engineers argue in whispers. Someone reportedly says, "Bring it back." Someone else hesitates, because now restoring the mic isn't control, it's surrender. Prince has already reframed the moment. On stage, Prince turns his back to the dead microphone. That gesture lands like punctuation. The anchor detail is his silhouette against the stage lights, guitar neck angled upward. He plays directly to the audience, not the broadcast. The band follows, swelling behind him, careful not to overplay. This is no longer a song, it's a standoff. The crowd begins to react, slowly at first. The anchor detail is scattered applause, not at the end of a number, but in the middle of silence. People stand, some shout. They understand instinctively that something is happening that wasn't approved. According to accounts, the energy in the room shifts from entertainment to witnessing. Prince holds the silence where his voice should be. He stretches it, milks it, lets it become uncomfortable. The anchor detail is the length of time, long enough that it can't be edited out without leaving a scar. This is the weaponization promised in the title, using what was taken to expose who took it. Finally, the system blinks. The anchor detail is the microphone crackling back to life, sound restored without announcement. Prince doesn't rush to it. He finishes the guitar phrase first, clean and resolved. Only then does he step forward, lean in, and deliver the next line, reportedly softer than before, but devastating in context. The crowd erupts, the release violent and cathartic. The song ends on Prince's terms. The anchor detail is the final chord ringing out, allowed to decay naturally. No fade, no applause sign. The audience explodes anyway, cheers crashing over the stage like a wave. Producers can't cut away fast enough without making it obvious. The damage, or the miracle, is already live. The aftermath begins immediately. Backstage, the anchor detail is the same hallway from earlier, now buzzing. Some crew members look exhilarated, others look furious. According to insiders, no one confronts Prince directly in that moment. He walks past the microphone stands, past the producers, guitar still on his shoulder, expression unreadable. The next morning, the system responds the only way it knows, how silence of its own. The anchor detail is the edited rebroadcast, where the dead air moment is shortened, smoothed, made less threatening. Press coverage frames it as a technical issue or a bold artistic choice, depending on who's speaking. The truth lives between those versions. What changes is subtler but deeper. The anchor detail is the memory carried by everyone who was there, the knowledge that Prince faced a live mute and didn't blink. For artists watching, it becomes a lesson. Control isn't always about volume. Sometimes it's about refusing to fill the space when power expects you to. The thesis proves itself in hindsight. Prince didn't panic because panic accepts the rules as written. He weaponized silence to rewrite them in real time. By stepping away from the microphone, he forced the system to reveal its hand, then made the audience complicit witnesses. Years later, people still argue about the specifics, the exact song, the exact second the mic dropped, whether it was intentional or reactive. The anchor detail that survives all versions is simple and immovable: a man on stage, a dead microphone, and the courage to let the quiet speak. Because when they cut Prince's voice live, they expected compliance. What they got instead was a reminder that power doesn't always shout. Sometimes it waits, plays on, and lets the silence indict everyone who tried to control it.